Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to the Convocation ceremony for the University of Utah College of Pharmacy. My name is Dan Witt, Interim Dean of the College, and it will be my pleasure to present to you today an incredible group of graduates, the University of Utah College of Pharmacy class of 2026. Today we're here to honor 61 remarkable graduates receiving PharmD, PhD, and master's degrees. For those of you joining us here in person in this lovely Kingsbury Hall, welcome. It's wonderful that we can be together to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of these graduates. I also want to acknowledge that many others are joining us today virtually from locations near and far. Faculty, staff, university officials, alumni, family members, and friends. We know you love these graduates and are proud of them. Thank you for sharing this special day with us. Whether joining in person or virtually, on behalf of the faculty and staff at the college, we extend our thanks to each of you who has supported and inspired these students throughout their journey to this happy moment. At this convocation, we pause to recognize the outstanding leadership of Dr. Randy Peterson, who has recently concluded his service as the Dean of the College of Pharmacy. A distinguished scientist and national leader in drug discovery, Dr. Peterson joined the University of Utah after a remarkable career at Harvard Medical School, Massachusetts General Hospital, and the Broad Institute. As dean, he strengthened the college's national reputation, expanded its research enterprise, and advanced innovation in pharmacy education and therapeutics development. We are deeply grateful for Dr. Peterson's vision, service, and lasting impact. Please join me in a round of applause for Dr. Peterson. I'd like to take some time to recognize a few distinguished guests that are here with us today and ask that they stand and be recognized. Bob Carter, Executive Vice President for Health Sciences and CEO of University of Utah Health. Welcome. Dr. Joan Wolfe and family, who sponsor the Wolfe Prize, which will be awarded to one of our graduate students today. Thank you. Erin Rothwell, Vice President for Research and Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology at the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine. Welcome. Christina Huntsman-Durham, member of the University of Utah Board of Trustees. Thank you for being here. And Chris Sheard, who is a DOPL Board of Pharmacy member. Is Chris here? There he is. Thank you, Chris. I would also like to offer a heartfelt thanks to the people in the Dean's office of the College of Pharmacy who made this event happen today, and the remarkable faculty and staff who make this one of the best colleges of pharmacy in the country. Let's give them a round of applause, please. These individuals have helped each of our students in countless ways over the past several years and have developed a deep affection for them. And again, please join me, especially our staff in the Dean's office. Let's give them another round of applause. And I know many of you graduates Feel a deep sense of gratitude for your parents, your siblings, grandparents, spouses, friends, pets, caffeinated beverages that have made today possible. Graduates, could you please stand, turn around, and thank your parents, your families, and your friends who've helped you get here today. For each of you graduates, today marks the end of a long and rigorous academic program. Whether you're graduating with a master's degree, a PharmD, a PhD, you've overcome significant adversity, mastered complex content, pushed back the frontiers of knowledge, and prepared yourself for a lifetime of service and impact. What you have accomplished is truly remarkable. Each of you is standing at a noteworthy moment, not only in the arc of your life, but in the arc of human history. The world needs the skills and perspectives you've developed. We trust that the time you've spent here has fundamentally changed the way you see the world and prepared you to change it for the better. I hope you can feel the magnitude and exhilaration of this unique moment. As you know, healthcare and scientific discovery is facing major changes and uncertainties. Pharmacists and pharmaceutical scientists will undoubtedly take on increasingly important roles in healthcare. The world needs leaders who can usher us into a positive future for pharmacy and for human health. We are confident that you are ready. We could not be more proud of you or more excited to see how your careers and lives unfold. Thank you for entrusting your education to us. Today, we honor you for all your hard work and achievements, and we're proud to have you as colleagues. I'd now like to invite Dr. Bob Carter, Executive Vice President for Health Sciences and CEO of the University of Utah, to the podium to share a few remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Witt, and we appreciate your long service at the university and your 8 days as our interim dean of the College of Pharmacy. It's exciting to have you. I also just want to recognize and echo Dr. Witt's comments about Dr. Peterson, who has recently served nearly a decade as our dean of the College of Pharmacy. He's just done a wonderful job. We have so much to be grateful for. Several highlights and accomplishments I'll mention here in just a moment, but if we could all thank these two leaders, I would be greatly appreciative. Of course, most of all, it's congratulations to the class of Pharmacy 2026. You've made it. You're here. It truly is an honor for all of us to gather family, friends, faculty, to be with you in this moment of your accomplishment and recognition, all that you've done over these past several years. As I continue to meet with the faculty and students of the College of Pharmacy, I've only become more impressed with the way you have dedicated yourselves to a career in the health professions. Individually and as a class, you've distinguished yourself in so many different ways. Might I highlight just a few? This is the inaugural graduation ceremony for the first cohort of students to complete the first of its kind master's degree in pharmacology and toxicology. It's a rigorous one-year program that lets students complete advanced training in a shorter time frame while getting lab and research experience alongside PhD students. Your class also started the College of Pharmacy Ambassadors Program. This is a student-led task force that helps recruit new PharmD students to create a strong community of future pharmacists. And in your fourth year, you helped provide exceptional care at the Malahi Free Clinic, working collaboratively with PA and MP students side by side in 2 clinics every month. You are meeting the needs of patients who are underinsured and also who have limited access to the care that they need. Thank you for your service in that regard. Each of you also completed a mentored research project, Many of you went on to present your research at national meetings and publish your findings. Others trained and mentored undergraduates, PharmDs, and new PhD students. And let's also acknowledge that many of you are going on to complete residency training in competitive programs matched in 13 states in 10 different specialties, including emergency medicine, informatics, pediatrics, and health systems administration. I was not exaggerating when I said that this class is impressive. And this class belongs to a school that is equally impressive, consistently ranking in the top 25 in PharmD programs in the entire nation, maintaining a residency match rate of more than 90%, far greater than the national average, and currently ranking number 7 in the nation in research funding here in the College of Pharmacy. Congratulations. These are just some of the distinguishing features of our University of Utah College of Pharmacy. Now, as the newest class, you'll be adding to that legacy and reputation. In healthcare, of course, we emphasize the importance of the team. Throughout your learning, it was about the team, learning how to connect with each other, and going forward, it will also be about the team. But today, it's about you as individuals. You'll receive those recognitions of graduation here in the college. Please take a moment, if not during this ceremony, but after, to pause and reflect on the journey that you've had, all that you've accomplished, and what it took you to get here. As you move forward, you are entering a healthcare environment that needs your expertise, your compassion, and your commitment, and your leadership more than ever. Work to maintain your values and ideals as professionals, those that you've developed here, and just as you did during your time here, find ways to lead and blaze new trails. And remember, we will always hold a special place here in Utah for the College of Pharmacy class of 2026. Best wishes as you enter the next phase of your professional lives, and congratulations again, class of 2026.
Thank you, Dr. Carter. Wednesday evening, we held an award banquet for the College of Pharmacy where graduating PharmDs, Masters, and PhD students were presented with a number of awards, as were a few faculty and preceptors. These awards are all listed in your program, and today we'd like to take just a few moments and announce several faculty awards that have been received. If the following are present, I would ask that they stand to be recognized. Let's first go over the Teacher of the Year awards for each of the classes in the PharmD program. First year Teacher of the Year this year was awarded to Dr. Kubaran Balagurunathan. The second year Teacher of the Year was awarded to Dr. Eric Schmidt. Third year Teacher of the Year was awarded to Dr. Elizabeth Bald. And the senior class distinguished teacher was awarded to Dr. Kristen Keefe. We also award an overall College of Pharmacy Teacher of the Year award, and this year, the students of the College of Pharmacy have chosen Dr. Kubaran Balagurunathan as the College of Pharmacy Teacher of the Year. There he is, right up there, guys. The students complete during their time here what we call Introductory Pharmacy Practice Experiences, or IPPEs. The IPPE Preceptor of the Year was presented to Dr. Erica Hill. As the students progress on, they complete Advanced Pharmacy Practice Experiences, or APPEs. And the APPE Preceptor of the Year this year was presented to Dr. Cynthia Din. A new award this year was the Experiential Education Choice Award, which was presented to Dr. Paula Geddes. And the Faculty Preceptor of the Year was presented to Dr. C.J. Tan, right up here. Congratulations to all our preceptors. We have a truly amazing group of faculty, adjunct faculty, and preceptors here at the College of Pharmacy. We will now hear from our student speakers, Samantha Patton, PharmD class of 2026, and Braxton Hornsby, PhD class of 2026. Let me introduce them both, and then we'll turn the time over to them for their remarks. Samantha Patton, Sam, is a proud member of the PharmD class of 2026 and has been an outstanding leader throughout her time in the program. She served in numerous roles, including ASHP President, Therapeutics Teaching Assistant, and ASHP Medication Safety Scholar. Her passion for hospital pharmacy is evident in everything she does, and after graduation, she'll begin her postgraduate year 1 residency at the University of Colorado Hospital. In recognition of her exceptional professionalism and communication skills, Samantha received, among other awards, I will add, the Viatris Excellence in Pharmacy Award, as well as the Dean's Outstanding Pharmacy Student Award. She's been deeply engaged in the life of the college, consistently bringing a positive attitude, a spirit of service, and a strong commitment to excellence. Sam excelled academically, supported her classmates generously, and approached even emotionally challenging situations with grace, poise, and advocacy for others. We are grateful for her leadership, her kindness, and her unwavering dedication to our community. Now, let me tell you about Braxton Hornsby. Braxton is a PhD candidate in molecular pharmaceutics whose academic record is exceptional, earning a 3.98 GPA, prestigious fellowships, and multiple first author publications in cancer, gene, and protein therapy. But it's his commitment and accomplishments in teaching and mentorship that truly sets him apart. Teaching has been central to Braxton's academic journey from the beginning. As an undergraduate, he was named Teaching Assistant of the Year. During his doctoral training, he became the primary instructor for a graduate-level molecular biology course, where he designed lectures, wrote exams, led workshops, and assessed student learning over multiple years. Students consistently describe his classes as engaging, rigorous, and welcoming, and faculty praise both his clarity and his professionalism. One mentor noting that he taught the course better than she had herself. Beyond the classroom, Braxton is a dedicated mentor to students at every level, from high school researchers to doctoral trainees, many of whom have earned competitive awards under his guidance. He is known for his generosity with time, intellectual curiosity, and a deep belief in the potential of those that he teaches. Braxton brings to education a rare blend of excellence, humility, and genuine care. I'm very excited to hear these commencement speeches. So let's first hear from Sam and then from Braxton.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. Witt, for the introduction. I appreciate it. Wow, it's so crazy to be sitting here. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to start by thanking all of the family and friends who are here in attendance today to support us. It really means so much that you all are here, so thank you. And to my fellow classmates, I'm so excited and thankful to be here with all of you today. You guys look so good. Over the past 4 years, we have put in the work to become experts of pharmacy, and in about 30 minutes to an hour. We'll even be doctors of it. Between the countless late nights and spent studying and the over 1,600 hours spent on rotation, late nights spent at our internships, and I think it's safe to say we are all well acquainted with hardship. And judging by the fact that we're all sitting here now, I would also say we're pretty good at overcoming it. Back in P1 year, when I actually had time for hobbies, I was introduced to the practice of yoga. And this has remained one of my most consistent outlets physically and mentally over the past 4 years. And I've been very fortunate to learn from its many teachings. Recently, I had an instructor center her entire class around how to navigate life's difficulties, and she had a very interesting perspective that I have honestly been trying to reconcile ever since. She talked about this idea of letting a bad day be a bad day, to not reframe things to be more positive than they are, because that creates a dissonance between our bodies and reality. She recommends instead to sit in its badness, to vent, to feel whatever negativity it is that you feel, and she was convinced that this is the way to be a healthier processor. And although I see her point, something about it didn't feel right. I've always been more of an err on the stay positive side of things. It did make me wonder, though, is there a best way to endure life's most arduous moments? I mean, if there was a way to make it easier, I was very interested in finding out what that was and how I could do that. As I thought about it more, I began to realize that it may be impossible to come up with one answer, and that may not even be the point. I'm willing to bet everyone here if I asked them how they overcame the challenges of the last 4 years, I'd probably get 40 different strategies. And that should tell us that what works for me may not work for someone else, and that's okay too. Regardless, we all found something, and we all still made it, and these are things we can share with one another and learn from each other too. Our differences are one of the things I admire most about our class. Each of us are unique and bring different strengths to the table. If everyone in the audience wanted to gain a sense of who the class of 2026 was, you'd honestly have to go around and spend a whole day with each one of us to figure that out. Lucky for me, I've had the privilege of getting to do that, so here lies my best attempt at summing up who we are in a few minutes. We're not a group short of interests. Quinn, Abby, and Kinsey, you guys have the coolest music taste, and they brought me to my first metal concert, and we had so much fun headbanging and trying to avoid the mosh pit. Speaking of music, Zach is an absolute wizard on the clarinet, and I've actually watched him play in the Utah Medical Orchestra in the room right next door. Even professionally, as the years have passed, it's been amazing to see everyone finding their specialties and niches, and I know we will all be excellent at what we choose. We're consistent at showing up for each other. Ben's kindness and generosity can be felt from 10 miles away. I can't see you, but you're somewhere. Oh, hey. I'll never forget when you offered to help me move, and we were driving on I-80 with my mattress in the back of your mom's truck, and I was so terrified it was going to fall out and hit someone. On a bad day, I knew I could count on showing up to Advanced Therapeutics, and Kim and Myrna, you guys would be there sitting in the row in front of me to always put a smile on my face, so thank you. And in health policy, Taylor was patient enough to explain the pre-readings to those of us in the group that had no idea what it meant, so thank you. We've celebrated each other's wins, we've been there in times of loss, and used the setbacks and disappointments as ways to come closer together. And I think I speak for many of us that we've also made lifelong friendships. I mean, we've sent engagement and new baby photos in our class group chat. To my girls, Kendall and Lise, my friendships with you guys have made the past 4 years survivable, and I'll really miss showing up to exams in our ski clothes so we could hit Alto straight afterwards. And I have a suspicion that even though all of us might have not been the bestest friends, that there exists a silent respect for each other that transcends the lack of words exchanged. I love moments like these because it gives me this feeling of belonging to something bigger. It's like driving with your friends in the summer with your windows down, all screaming the same song. It's walking out of the Salt Lake airport and seeing families waiting for each other there with signs. It's seeing your ICU patient who spent weeks intubated and on ECMO finally get discharged in the hospital just in time for his son's wedding. What a gift to be here, able to witness these moments of serendipity despite all the turmoil. The feeling is hard to describe, but standing here now at the culmination of this huge accomplishment shared between us all, I feel it now. A moment of clarity where your perspective gets a little bit wider, and you remember that what really matters at the end of the day is connecting with each other. Humans are not meant to be solitary creatures. Thousands of years of history have proven this. This sense of community that we have is something we can pass on to our future patients as well. If we can operate with the belief that we all have gifts, all have something worth contributing, it can help us see patients in a much more meaningful way. Something we learned in school is that pharmacists are the most accessible healthcare providers in the United States. Very soon, a lot of people are going to trust us and count on us. And I hope that we can all take the time to make patients feel the same sense of belonging I've felt between all of us the past 4 years. We can make them feel less alone, offer encouragement. We can show up to work with empathy, because while we may just be clocking in for a shift, that day could be someone else's worst. Of course, it will sometimes be difficult. Maybe you're in a rush that day, and the last thing you have time to do is make small talk. Or maybe you tried, but the other person doesn't want anything to do with it. Maybe someone reminds you that no matter how positive or negative you are, the hardships will never truly go away. But we have to remember how it feels when your efforts work, when they help someone, when it makes them feel less alone, and to keep that as a motivator for the rest of our careers. My point in all of this is that although each of us are trying to figure out how best to navigate things down here, we are all in the same boat. And the task is this: contribute a verse into the lives of our patients, each other, and to the much larger story our ancestors have been writing since the beginning of time. It's been so much fun being your classmate, and as we go out into practice, and if someone ever mentions any of your names, I will be honored that I get to say I went to pharmacy school with them. So congratulations, doctors, we did it.
That was a pretty tremendous speech to have to follow. Great job, Sam. That was awesome. All right, this thing's going to be a problem. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here to support all of us today. I'm truly humbled to stand here before you as a representative of the PhD class of 2026 and as this year's Wolf Prize recipient. 176 years since the establishment of this university and 26 years since the establishment of the Wolf Prize. I would like to begin by thanking Dr. Joan Wolf and late Dr. Hal Wolf for their generosity in making this award possible. Their legacy of expanding access to education is not only admirable, but has been deeply inspiring to me throughout my time here. And in the presence of such excellent and extraordinary peers, it is a great honor to be chosen to represent you. It is a great honor. For those of you who haven't had the indulgent delight of experiencing a PhD program, the last few months, at least for most of us, consist of a whirlwind of writing, wrapping up final manuscripts so that you can defend and walk, writing your multi-hundred-page dissertation that perhaps, according to your committee, was 100 pages too long. Working on cover letters and applications for jobs and postdoctorates. Just generally trying to tie together years of really hard work into something that is somewhat coherent while preparing for the next step in life. So when I was first informed that I would need to complete another bit of writing in the way of this speech, my will was weak. The Writers Guild went on strike, you could say. And despite my best efforts, I only managed to work out one line for the speech for about 2 weeks. It is a great honor. At first, I included this line only as a formality, if I'm being completely honest. It's just what you say. It's just how you start speeches. But my mind lingered on this line for a while, reflecting on my time here at the University of Utah, within my department, within the College of Pharmacy. And I reflected on my time spent with my peers, with faculty, and just generally very inspiring scientists. And I've come to realize that this line, it is a great honor. It's perhaps the most genuine, most sincere in my whole speech, because it's true. Let me explain. I did not originally plan on applying to graduate school. I took 4 years off between my undergraduate training and applying into a graduate program. And when people ask me why, I'd usually give them some practical answer, like I wanted to get industry experience. I wanted to see what else was out there before committing to such a long period of indentured servitude. But if I'm being completely honest with myself, that is not the truth. The whole truth is that I had developed a pretty nasty habit of comparing the worst traits of myself with the best traits of my peers. And by that metric, I could never really measure up. Who could? I convinced myself that I didn't belong in spaces like this, that in a community full of truly exceptional people, I would only ever be mediocre. I simply didn't compare, or so I thought, and so I didn't initially pursue a PhD because I lacked the confidence to do so. I feared, above all else, that in the presence of such extraordinary peers, that I would be diminished. This was not my experience here at the University of Utah, not within the Department of Molecular Pharmaceutics, not within the College of Pharmacy, not within the university in general. From my very first days here, I found a cohort that was collaborative, supportive, and genuinely invested in one another's success. Uncertainty was met with encouragement. Failure was met with solidarity, and success, however small, and it's often small, was met with celebration. And during the hardest moments, and the PhD is just kind of like one long hard moment, if I'm being honest, but during those times, there was a kind of quiet reassurance in knowing that you weren't the only one going through it. Because at some point, many of us have had a version of that day. You know, that day when you've worked 12 straight overnight 16-hour shifts, only for the experiment to fail or the data to be completely unintelligible. Your efforts rewarded by a 25-minute drive home in dead silence on icy roads in the dark, too demoralized to even turn the radio on, 1,000-yard staring through the windshield. You come home and silently weep as you indulge in a fine meal of hot dog, mac and cheese, and Uncrustable, and 2 shots of whiskey. 3, maybe 4. For rec time, you stare at the ceiling in the dark, pondering how much longer your psyche can tolerate this lifestyle, until you fade away into a very restful 4 to 5 hours of sleep before you repeat this process again the next day. That example got away from me a little bit. Probably a little too specific. Your day probably wasn't quite like that, but it was something like that at some point. And there was and is still an affirmation to knowing that I was not the only one experiencing this, or something like it at some point or another. There's an affirmation to knowing that failure and struggle, feelings of imposter syndrome, which, I still feel a little bit, inadequacy, things like this are honestly ubiquitous amongst graduate students. And while it may sound terrible, there's some strange comfort to be found in knowing that we are suffering through it together. Beyond the sense of solidarity, you, my peers, have also provided me with an endless font of inspiration. One of the unique things about our graduate programs is that they are actually small enough for us to really know each other on an individual level. Not just casually, but meaningfully. We know when someone publishes an awesome paper, when they win a fellowship, when they give an incredible presentation. We see each other's work, and we understand what it took to get there. I've read your papers, I've watched your talks, and I've seen the recognition that you've earned. Amongst the PhDs here today, we have people like Neetu Singh, who's published 5, I think is working on her 6th paper in awesome journals and has received so many poster awards, it's mind-boggling to me. We have people like Tommy McPartland, whose work was featured on the cover of Advanced Materials. We have people like Molly Major, who has been selected to present her research at multiple meetings, including CRS and AAPS. Tanya Cheever, who won a graduate research fellowship and was our student body selected recipient of the Fox Award, and has had her hard work and featured in multiple newsletters. People like Hui Shin, who's the first in our department to really publish on AI with large data sets and experimental outcomes. And there's just so many of you, so many cool things that you've done that I've watched over the years. I wish I had time to talk about all of you, but I don't. But I've looked at these accolades over time and I've thought, man, I really just wish I could be more like that. And not out of envy and not out of jealousy, but out of genuine inspiration. I want to publish like Neetu. I want to tell narratives and create artwork like Tommy. I want to orate and present like Molly. support my peers and my lab mates like Tanya, and work as tirelessly as Hoishun, and so on. I want to be more like all of you because you've given me such a high standard of excellence to live up to. And that is perhaps the most valuable thing that I will take with me from my PhD. To the PharmD students, while I unfortunately have not had the opportunity of directly engaging with very many of you, I have shared some coursework. I've seen your poster presentations, your PharmD projects, and I've witnessed your incredible dedication, your studiousness, and your commitment to your education, your community, and public health. Your work ethic is truly unmatched, and it's also something that I deeply admire, and I thank you for that. I've spent my whole PhD striving to be more like all of you. Apparently to some benefit to myself, but you've all taught me so much, and I hope only that I've been able to teach a thing or two along the way. I've committed my PhD to trying to teach a thing or two along the way. I have spent my time here in the company of some of the best young scientists and minds that you will find anywhere. And so when I tell you that it is a great honor to be here, counted among you, representing all of you, I mean it. With as much earnest, with as much appreciation, with as much sincerity that I can possibly offer. I would also like to recognize and thank and give my appreciation for the tremendous faculty and mentors that we have here within the College of Pharmacy. Without their wisdom and guidance, I think we'd just be like those inflatable balloon people outside the car dealership, just sort of withering around in the wind. I can't wait for that cursed picture to show up somewhere. Honestly, when I got here, I was initially terrified of many of the faculty within molecular pharmaceutics, particularly my own committee. Sometimes I'm still terrified. Not because they're cruel or intimidating or terrifying people. They're in fact very lovely and warm most of the time. But because they are known the world over for their impacts that they've made in their fields and research. So I just want to take a moment to especially thank my committee, who after spending multiple hours with me last Friday in my defense, were brave enough to still attend today, despite me having the power of a microphone again. Surely they were feeling apprehensive. So thank you for being brave enough to be here. In particular, I wanted to thank Dr. James Herron for being basically like our local internet search engine. That guy just knows so much about so much. It's pretty insane, honestly. I have darkened his door many times to tap into his wisdom. Or Dr. Sean Owen for his constant encouragement and for supporting my many impromptu office visits. Dr. Dave Granger, who's managed to keep me on my toes, and the optimal level of anxious. I have learned you do need to be some level of anxious, but you know, he's really tapped into like the perfect level and he's kept me there. And also Dr. Michael Kay, who's held me to such a high standard of excellence, constantly reminding me to aspire to more than just good enough. But most of all, I want to thank my mentor, Dr. Carol Lim, who has given me something to aspire to even beyond graduate school, being a mentor of the highest possible quality. We have stood on the shoulders of truly phenomenal scientists, mentors, and educators who have devoted themselves to us in producing the next generation of scientists to follow them. The faculty and mentors here have pushed me to ponder more deeply, reflect more frequently, and to challenge myself more steeply. And if I become even a fraction of the scientist, mentor, and educator that any of them are, I will be fulfilled and proud. Having found such an incredible and close-knit community here, I find it hard now to leave and move on to the next step in life. But I do so knowing that I will be reading some truly amazing papers, witnessing some extraordinary contributions to science, and brushing elbows with revered colleagues and friends at conferences and meetings down the road. This may be the last time that we see each other as students, but it will not be the last time that we see each other as colleagues. And even though I know that you certainly don't need it, I wish you all the very best of luck in the world. It has been my greatest honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam and Braxton, for your inspiring messages. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, we will now award the diplomas for the Master's, Doctor of Pharmacy, and Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Dr. Kristen Keefe, Associate Dean, Faculty Affairs, will read your names, and we would ask that you please come forward at that time. Dr. Jim Rubel, Executive Associate Dean for Academic and Student Affairs, and Dr. Crystal Beischer, Assistant Dean of Experiential Education, will hood the PharmD graduates. PhD and master's graduates will be hooded by their thesis committees chairs. Let's do this.
Chesley Hewlett. Madeline O'Neill. Afan Mahmood. Dalton Weiniger. Samuel Jacobson. Benjamin Perez. Mo Alazawi. Erna Balmana. Kimberly Barragan. Andres Medina. Julia Song. Emily Sorensen. Marina Osborne. Sean Robinson. Colin Vijanadhan. April Stevens. Charlotte Brereton. Melissa Coleman. Tanner Roylance. Stephen Short. Taylor Loftus. Jacob Watt. Mikkel Ferry. Dima El-Kaizi. Cheyenne Warren. Ronald Galvez. Quinn Lifshitz. Abigail Schwartz. Mackenzie Fate. Juan Lopez. McKay Hatch. Eric Dahlman. Joseph Simpson. Isaac Bell. Zachary Gonzalez. Kendall Derber. Madison Young. Samantha Embley. Emma Horton. Sydney von Niederhausen. Annalise Brenizer. Samantha Patton. Elizabeth Marie Kralik. Revathi Babu Menon. Aaron Romero. Brett Johnson. Lutfa Huck Lovely. Braxton Hornsby. Thomas McPartland. Neetu Singh. Tanya Chibbard. Daniel Hansen. Georgia Morgan. Hui Chen Hu. Sorry, my apologies. Hui Chen Hu. Kene Chukwu Benume. Ratanan Pasitwarachat. Abdelrahman Yunus.
All right, let's have a round of applause for these amazing graduates. Dr. Amber Johnson, Assistant Professor of Clinical, will now lead the PharmD graduates in the Apothecary Oath. We invite all PharmD graduates to rise and read along out loud with Dr. Johnson as she leads us in the oath.
Congratulations, class of 2026. All right, you ready to start the oath of the pharmacist? Here we go. All right. I promise to devote myself to a lifetime of service to others through the profession of pharmacy. In fulfilling this vow, I will consider the welfare of humanity and relief of suffering my primary concerns. I will promote inclusion and belonging, respect differences in all individuals, and address health disparities to advance equity for all people. I will apply my knowledge, experience, and skills to the best of my ability to assure optimal outcomes for all patients. I will respect and protect all person and health information entrusted to me. I will accept the responsibility to improve my professional knowledge, expertise, and self-awareness. I will hold myself and my colleagues to the highest principles of our profession's moral, ethical, and legal conduct. I will embrace and advocate changes that improve patient care. I will utilize my knowledge, skills, experiences, and values to prepare the next generation of pharmacists. I take these vows voluntarily with the full realization of the responsibility with which I am entrusted by the public. Congratulations, pharmacists.
This concludes our convocation ceremony for the class of 2026. After the faculty procession leaves the auditorium, please stand as the graduates leave. Feel free to meet your graduate outside in the front steps of Kingsbury Hall. From there, we hope you'll join us for a reception held across from Kingsbury Hall in the grassy area of President's Circle. Please join us for light refreshments and opportunities for photos with friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. Once again, our heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you.